press. So in the leg press, you push the weight away from you. So in here, it's almost like I'm leg pressing the ground. I'm leg pressing the ground away from me at the bottom. I'm pushing the ground away from me. So both conventional and sumo, I'm here. I'm about an inch from the bar. I'm pushing the ground away from me when I start pushing away from me, right? I'm pushing the ground away from me. Eddie G here from GS7 Fit. Today we're talking about deadlifting. The traditional deadlift or conventional deadlift versus sumo deadlift. Which one should you be doing? What's the benefits of each? And when should you do one or the other? So we're gonna start with traditional deadlift. I call it traditional deadlift or conventional deadlift, however you wanna call it. But that's right here. We're gonna have the setup for you right here. A conventional pull. We're looking to have our feet inside this part of the bar here, kind of where the gripping starts here. I like to have the feet inside, toes slightly turned out, somewhere about an inch from the bar. And then you're gonna grab your hands outside the bar here, right here. So when you come down and straighten your back out, the bar is sliding up. And then at the top, you fully lock out, right? And you're gonna come back down and touch. So with both of the deadlifts, whether it be sumo or conventional, you want the bar close to your body. Having the bar close to your body gives you a mechanical advantage. You definitely want a mechanical advantage when you start lifting 400, 500. You know, this is really like this for demonstration. But the thing is, the way you lift the lighter weight, you want to lift the heavier weight. You don't want your form to kind of just go off, okay? And so that's, again, this is the conventional. In conventional, you're gonna use more hamstrings because if you see from the side, you're a lot higher. Your hips are a lot higher when you're starting. You're up in here, right? And your hips, look how high the hips are there. You gotta travel all this distance, here and up and back down. You gotta travel all this distance. You can see at the side angle of the conventional deadlift, you see how high the hips are. That means the hamstrings are gonna be worked a lot more and your lower back more. Again, this is the conventional pull. Again, you get close to the bar, you know, get a good grip. And then once you're ready to pull, push the ground away from you and keep the bar close to you. And look how much, when you're starting somewhere about here, look how high your hips are and the bar is just dragging up your body and you're locking out at the top. Again, this is the conventional would be here. You're starting and look how much the hips are traveling. And you notice that's gonna be a lot of stress. It's gonna be good stress on the hamstrings, meaning the hamstrings are gonna get strong because, excuse me, because your hips are a lot higher. So you have your hips in a higher position, that's gonna allow you to stretch out the hamstrings a lot more. Again, your hips are higher, your feet are inside here, they're gripping, okay? About an inch from the bar, you grab here, right? You're gonna straighten out your back by lifting your chest up, lifting up your chin. Now the bar is nice and close to to your shins there. You push the ground away from you and you just start pulling up, all right? Again, you push the ground away from you and you start pulling all the way up here. You're not done until you fully lock out, get the hips forward, and then bring it back down. All right? Again, we know this weight's light. Is this for demonstration? And that's fine. The thing is, just to demonstrate, you want to have all those points. Again, conventional deadlift, you're going to get more range of motion because you're traveling a longer distance. All right, you're going to get more hamstrings. You're going to work the lower back more than the sumo. Did I say hamstrings already? I said hamstrings already. You're gonna work those hamstrings. You're getting lower back. You're getting more range of motion. And that's what you're getting from the conventional. Okay? So if you're a beginner, I definitely recommend you start with the conventional because you just want to start. Oh, another thing the conventional does too, the hinge. So the hinge is here. You know, a hinge is this. Hinge would be here like this. That's the hinge. That's gonna be you're gonna get a much greater hinge from the deadlift. You might get a little bit of hinge from the sumo, not as much. But the sumo also has its advantages that we're gonna talk about right now. So now we're talking about the sumo deadlift. So what's the sumo? Unlike the conventional, your feet are starting kind of inside here where the grip's at. See, here's the gripping part here. Some people call it the knurling, or people call things different. I don't know, I just like to say right here where the gripping parts that keep it simple. Your feet are inside there on the conventional. For the sumo, your feet are gonna be fairly wide. Most bars have this line here. I like for my shin, the middle of my shin, to be there for the sumo. That's how I myself recommend when you do the sumo. Some people have your feet all the way out like this on the sumo. I myself like to recommend, when you see these lines, the middle of your shin, about right there. Again, about an inch from the bar. Your hands are gonna be inside your legs now, as opposed to the conventional. Conventional, your hands are outside your legs. Now on the sumo, your hands are gonna be inside your legs. So here, you're gonna come down, push the weight away from you, and that's it. As you notice, if you notice the travel on the sumo is a lot less than the conventional deadlift. Conventional deadlift, you're way up there, your hips are high, you get a lot of hamstrings. This one, as you can see, you're a lot lower, so you're gonna involve more quads. How about conventional deadlift? Do they work quads? They do, but nowhere near as much as a sumo deadlift. How about sumo? Do they work hamstrings? You are working your hamstrings somewhat, but nowhere near as much as the conventional. But there's a bonus to this one, your hip adductors. Hip adductors, you're working in the sumo because you're in this position here. The hip adductors that go here, they have to fire. They have to fire there. You know, you push it into the ground. They're part of the motion. So hip adductors, those are really good if you're working a sport and you gotta run fast, like baseball, like football, like sprinting, like track and field. You gotta move fast. The hip adductors, they help when you gotta slow your stride down. They also help when you gotta run real fast. Those hip adductors help you fire that running momentum. So if you're an athlete and you're doing a lot of running, I recommend you do sumos. So again, sumos, if you're an athlete and you gotta do running and you wanna work those hip adductors, you know, I highly recommend you do the sumos as well. If your lower back's a little sore, the sumos are gonna work your lower back, not as much as the conventional, but they will work your lower back. They're gonna work your quads a little bit more. They're also gonna work your glutes a little bit more, because look at the position you're in down here. You know, you're not working your hips as much as the conventional. Look where you're at down here. The glutes are already firing here and there. So a lot of my female clients, I recommend they do the sumos, because a lot of female like to work the glutes a lot. Men, we should work glutes as well, because it helps you with lower back issues. A lot of men have lower back issues because their lower back is not that strong. Either conventional or sumo will help that. But if your back hurts a lot when you're first starting, then you can go with the sumo, if that be the case. But I highly recommend you start with the conventional. But you don't always have to do that. Weightlifting, it's not like a one-size-fits-all program. That's why personal training, it's personal for you. What do you want? Maybe you don't want to do conventional because your lower back hurts a lot. Well, in that case, I highly recommend you do a type of deadlift. I would recommend a sumo deadlift. If not a sumo, do a trap bar deadlift, but do something. If you're gonna be competing in powerlifting, you gotta do conventional. So this is a short video. This is kind of comparing both of them. Again, hopefully you can go back and watch for the conventional deadlift, the sumo deadlift. I don't want to complicate things. The thing is just kind of get out there and start lifting. Just make sure the bar is close to you. To close this out now, remember conventional? Let's just kind of do a recap. Conventional, your feet are inside your hands. So about an inch from the bar, you're gonna grab the bar, you're gonna take the slack out there, you're gonna push the ground away from you. You're gonna keep the bar close to you, you're gonna come all the way up, you're gonna lock out at the top, you're gonna bring it back down the same way you brought it up. The same way you brought it up, because some guys like to keep the bar away from them. That puts stress on the lower back. Oh, I always have to wear a weight belt. I recommend you always use a weight belt, because this kind of keeps you like thinking, I gotta brace my core. Some people say, no, don't use the weight belt, makes your core weaker. I don't get into this argument. If your trainer's telling you that and he's training you, then that's fine. But me, I recommend you use a weight belt, use it responsibly. Don't think because you have a weight belt, you lift a lot more weight. You can. It's just there to remind you, okay? That's your conventional. Again, your sumo, I like to line up my shins with this part of the bar. It has a line here. Each bar should have that. My middle of my shins there. My feet are turned out more. I'm grabbing inside. I'm bringing it down. There. Again, about an inch from the bar. I'm bringing it down. I'm pushing the feet away from me. Pushing the ground away from me. There. Again. Sorry. I'm pushing the ground away with my feet. So almost like if I'm gonna, almost as though almost as though I was doing a leg press. So in the leg press, you push the weight away from you. So in here, it's almost like I'm leg pressing the ground. I'm leg pressing the ground away from me at the bottom. I'm pushing the ground away from me. So both conventional and sumo, I'm here, I'm about an inch from the bar. I'm pushing the ground away from me when I start pushing it away from me, right? I'm pushing the ground away from me when I'm starting. That's what I'm doing. And when you get really good with a conventional, you can be quick. So say you're lifting a lot of weight, you're in here. You're thinking you're gonna be quick. I'm about an inch from the bar. I'm gonna push the ground away from me. Here, up, right? Down, I'm pushing the ground away from me. I'm quick. I'm pushing the ground away from me. Same as the sumo. Again, I'm down here, I'm down, pushing the ground away from me. I'm moving quick. Pushing the ground away from me. You know, eventually, you wanna build up that speed. All right, so hope this helps. Eddie G, GS7 Fit. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, get the notifications. And if you made it to this far, I appreciate you. Thank you much for watching.